Hi, I'm Lee from True Silver, and today I'm with Lisa, and we're talking about the pros and cons of franchises. Hi, Lisa.
Hello.
Just to give everybody a little background, you started Sparkle Shed in August of this year, so last month. But you've been a franchisee before that for 9 years.
That's correct, yeah.
So it's fair to say you've got a lot of experience on the matter. So we're going to see if we can share some of that. So if we start off with, let's talk about what you actually do, because your current business is the Sparkle Shed, which is a kind of a development on from your previous business, isn't it? So for those lucky people who have never had to organise a big event or a wedding, trust me, you are very lucky if you haven't. Tell us what a venue stylist is.
Well, a venue stylist is, to put it simply, is do the decorations for your wedding, take the style and transform your venue into what you want it to be. I tend to work from meeting clients and then discussing what they want, and you can be involved as much or as little as you want. Some people just say, this is what I want, please do it. Other people want to be involved all the time, but it just takes away that sort of stress of trying to source everything yourself and pull it all together and make it look how you want it to look. I have a huge array of stuff that I've got in the Sparkle Shed, and also that I can purchase if people haven't got it, or I can, even if people have got it, then I can then use their stuff and decorate it and create the vision they want on their day, so they don't have to worry about it. It's really taken the stress out of it.
So essentially, if they've got a theme in their head, you can make it happen.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Awesome. So we're talking about franchises. What was the franchise that you were a part of before?
I was a franchise called Add a Little Sparkle, which was again wedding and event styling, which I bought in 2011.
Okay. And what attracted you to that?
I was going to be made redundant, I knew, and I didn't want to go on to work for the other company that would take my company over, and I wanted to do something totally different and creative. So I just had a little look around to see, and I had never ever thought of running my own business before, and so I was looking for franchises, and this one just stuck out at me because it seemed friendly, welcoming, the sort of thing that made me feel comfortable.
Awesome. And obviously you stayed with them for 9 years, so it worked well for you for a long time. At the time when you thought, what was your main drive to actually buy a franchise rather than start off on your own and kind of do it all from scratch?
I think it was having the support and sort of that already built in for me. My website was a website already there. They did all the marketing materials. Everything was already done for you. There was training. I went over to Northern Ireland, where they're based, to meet the guys there. Got on really well with them, and they just felt like it was more of a family-orientated thing, and they really were going to look after you and give you that support and help you with all the startup things that I had no clue about. And I felt that for me at the time, that's what I needed.
And what would you say would have been the pros for you, the advantages of kind of?
Yeah. Being in a team, there's other stylists around the country as well, so people that you can ask for advice and support. Again, things like sourcing stock. If I couldn't find it, I could just say to them, have you got it? They'd send it to me, borrowing things from other people. So initially, I didn't have to buy everything. You sort of could hire from each other. Again, initially, the website, because I had completely no idea, as you know, I still do have no idea about that side of things. And that was all managed for me, something that I could sort of step away from and let them deal with it and do all the bits around that. So, and for me at the time, it really worked.
Brilliant. And what would you say are the downsides of a franchise?
The downside, I think, again, it is you're restricted. In my particular front, you're restricted to a certain area and to a certain service you can offer. Certain things that you can and can't do. Things you had to buy from them specifically, which you could have got cheaper elsewhere. Just that really, it was more of a restriction for me, that I couldn't do everything I wanted to do for my business, because it all had to go through the franchise. And if they didn't want to do it as a whole franchise, then you couldn't do it as an individual franchisee. It had to be group wide.
Yeah, I suppose that for some franchises develop I guess.
Yeah.
And obviously, when you run a business, your business generally develops with kind of how customers want, and you, if it's you, you're kind of driven a lot more, aren't you, to keep improving. Whereas maybe with some franchises that doesn't particularly happen.
Yeah, I think with me again, it went a bit stale because again, things like the website was very outdated, and it was frustrating that I couldn't myself update it or do things with it that I think would work. You had to go through somewhere, and as it's sort of grown up over the 9 years, it got to the point where you think, actually, it's not for me anymore because I can't do what I want to do.
It's sort of holding you back a little bit.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you say to somebody what would you say are the key points for somebody who is thinking about buying a franchise right now?
Right now, I would definitely say research everything, what you're getting in your franchise, what you can and can't do in your franchise, the support you get, how easy it is to leave your franchise as well. That's always a big thing, I think, because you can go into it eyes open and not realise that, you know, you buy it, you leave, you can't do anything for a year, 6 months, whatever afterwards. But definitely it's research. Look at your competition, look what other people are doing in that field to see if it's right for you. And I think, you know, if you look at it properly, then you'll know if you think it's for you, what you get for your money. So whatever your franchise fee is, what are you getting in return for that?
Yeah, make sure it's actually worth it. I mean, I do come across some franchises which literally just sell a website and a logo and tell you that's a franchise, that's a brand. And then people go out into the real world and find that's really not the case. Nobody has ever heard of a franchise, so there is no brand. I think obviously your industry, you're starting a business in the wedding industry in the middle of coronavirus. Very brave girl. I think we're all aware that your industry has kind of taken a massive hit. Do you think the wedding and events industry is going to bounce back? What's your thoughts on what's going on?
I'd like to hope so. I haven't had anybody cancel for this year. Everyone's postponed to next year. So that's a good point. There isn't many people forward booking, I think, new people booking for 21, 22 yet. I think they're just waiting for a bit more advice, because you just don't know. I mean, I've had people had to change 2 or 3 times this year because they've moved it from March to August, thinking that'd be okay, then August to October. Now, you know, it's highly unlikely it's going to change before the end of the year, in all honesty. So if people are now thinking, okay, let's just go next year. I mean, I've got a couple of very small weddings coming up, but they were small anyway, so 30 people. But fingers crossed, I think it's just the uncertainty for everyone. I'm confident that as soon as they say, yeah, you know, we can have it, people will go for it. Because people want to get married, people want to have parties. And hopefully they want to decorate even more. So to sort of, I've actually got a wedding on New Year's Eve, fingers crossed, that she wants it. She's hoping it's going to be okay, that it's just going to be a complete and utter party, getting rid of 2020. So she actually so that's promising. So
completely new starts. I do remember 2013. A lot of wedding venues were really struggling with wedding bookings because nobody wanted to get married.
Yes.
On the 13th year of the century for no apparent reason. But then there was this massive uptick the next year. So yeah, hopefully that'll
so fingers crossed. That's like Friday the 13th. A lot of people think they get it cheaper because it's Friday the 13th. Some venues actually do a deal on Friday the 13th because it's not a popular day to get married.
I can imagine that.
So we're getting crossed.
Okay, so Lisa, thank you very, very much. I think that's been really, really helpful for people. Lisa from the Sparkle Shed, everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Lee.
No worries.